Self-directed learning, benefits and implementation strategies for the workplace. The concept of self-directed learning first appeared in the 1970s. Malcolm Knowles believed that we become increasingly self-directed as we mature, and that self-directed learning is a hallmark of adult learning. In the workplace today, we see self-directed promoted in a way that is controlled by the employer and not necessarily open to the choice of the employee. For example, we might see a training and development department provide workshops where an employee can select courses of their interest, however, not truly fostering an environment of exploration and self-directed learning. This is not what Malcolm Knowles had in mind when he fathered his definition. True self-directed learning represents a paradigm shift in shifting that responsibility of the learning from the workplace, i.e. training and development departments, to the employee. Self-directed learning has everything to do with who is responsible and accountable for the learning, who drives the learning, who is responsible for what is learned, and when the learning occurs. Self-directed learning has been practiced for over 50 years now, both as a personal attribute and as a process. As an attribute, an individual being autonomous in their learning; as a process, a method for organizing instruction for learners. Self-directed learning is a broad type of employee development. The learning is usually done independently and conducted by the individual with the support from external organizational structures, individuals, consultants, etc. It is often seen as a proactive and not reactive form of employee development. As we learn throughout the semester, there are 4 motivational goals of self-directed learning. 1. The aspiration to gain knowledge or develop a new skill, for example, wanting to learn more about life in Alaska. Number 2, become more self-directed in learning, for example, after reading informational books about Alaska, making a decision to travel there. Number 3, inspire transformational learning when critical reflection is involved. In this example, learn about how people survive in Alaska and therefore make serious behavior changes in your life because of what you've learned or experienced, or a change in perspective and outlook. And number 4, emancipatory, supporting social justice and political action moving beyond the realm of individual learning. In this example, as a result of the experience and seeing how others live and survive in Alaska, you might form an informational organization to spread awareness. There are many benefits to leveraging self-directed learning in the workplace. Organizations must understand that self-directed learning is relevant to any workplace where learning is required. Self-directed learning is essential in the following situations. It supports the immediate learning needs of organizations for performance issues, changes in business, knowledge transfer. Self-directed learning enables employees to respond immediately to their learning needs as a result in the change in the environment. It fosters employee engagement. Employee involvement in their own learning has been linked to an increase in employee engagement. It supports unique career development needs, allowing employees to address specific skill gaps or deficiencies. It minimizes issues with transfer of learning. When employees engage in self-directed learning, there is a higher likelihood that this employee will demonstrate the new skills learned because it was not forced and an intrinsic motivation to learn. Self-directed learning is compatible with training and development. The idea is to leverage both as tools. Organizations should continue to invest in their employees, but also support and offer resources for self-directed learning. It identifies organizational champions. Self-directed learning requires motivation and initiative. Employees that demonstrate these behaviors and embark on self-directed learning are already motivated self-starters and doers. It is also a cost-effective method to provide training and development. The following section offers methods and strategies to implement self-directed learning in the workplace. The first step is to utilize a learning style assessment. We recommend the Myers-Briggs. And the second would be to utilize the self-directed learning readiness scale. The self-directed learning readiness scale is also known as the learning preference assessment to avoid response bias. The self-directed learning readiness scale is the most widely used assessment in the field of self-directed learning. It is a self-report instrument that was developed by Dr. Lucy M. Gilomino to measure the complex of attitudes, abilities, and characteristics that comprise readiness to engage in self-directed learning. The REACH workshop will leverage this readiness scale to assess where learners are in their self-directed learning. Self-directed learning is a self-empowered and self-motivated learning process. The most common types of self-directed learning require learners to read, listen, watch, and do or demonstrate. In order to engage in self-directed learning, it is essential to understand which type of learner you are, whether it be visual, auditory, or kinesthetic, in order to leverage the learning and resources appropriately. The Myers-Briggs Learning Style Assessment will provide insight into this area. Grow Self-Directed Learning Strategies offers an instructional model that describes how educators can help learners be more self-directed in their learning. This helps the instructor and facilitator of learning meet the learners where they are in their level of self-directed learning. Despite many people's desire to control how they learn, a common trait among autonomous learners, most learners need support and direction and benefit from learning in a community. The REACH Learning Workshop will enable employees to learn how to be more self-directed learners. The purpose of the workshop is to provide employees with the reach and skills to be self-directed learners. The focus is to support employees to develop a learning project or initiative. The topics covered are identify a focus, project or initiative to engage in, collaborate with the employees to develop learning objectives, assess individual learning style, determine and provide adequate resources for learning, scale the learning effort, document learning through self-reflection journals, compose a learning project plan, and last, complete a learning contract with the Training and Development Department. To develop a self-directed learning contract between the employee and the Training and Development Department, we can utilize the 6-step method created by Malcolm Knowles. Both formal and informal learning can be similar in terms of achieving the same learning. How learners engage in their learning is what makes it different. The REACH program, partnered with the Training and Development Department, will host both informal and formal learning opportunities. A massive open online course is an online course aimed at unlimited participation and open access via the web. In addition to traditional course materials such as film lectures, readings, and problem sets, many massive open online courses provide interactive user forums to support community interactions between learners and professors. Many self-directed learners engage in massive open online courses. The REACH program will organize a group of learners to attend a massive open online course. This provides an advantage of both a local and global perspective. edX and Coursera are two of the very popular massive open online courses that self-directed learners engage in. The REACH program will leverage webcasting providers such as On24 to provide to self-directed learners engaging webcasts. These platforms allow for employees to engage in social learning as well as discussion forums. Microlearning is a methodology that breaks learning into small parts in a nonlinear, holistic, and recursive way. Utilizing Grovo as a partner will allow the REACH program to turn new and existing content into a microlearning track using Grovo's method. Jonathan Haber dedicated all of 2013 to see if it was possible to learn the equivalent of what a student would get from being enrolled in a 4-year liberal arts degree program in just 12 months, utilizing massive open online courses and other forms of free learning. Jonathan Haber would be considered a very self-directed individual. He's written a book called Year of the MOOC on the topic that was published by MIT Press in the fall of 2014. As we've explored and learned about self-directed learners, workplaces must be creative in how they're going to foster self-directed learning for employees in the organization. By utilizing the REACH program, engaging webcast platforms, microlearning, and offering massive open online courses to employees, we believe that we will engage employees in being self-directed in their learning. The following are resources for self-directed learners. As training and development professionals, we need to learn and understand that adults never stop learning. And to do that, we need to foster an environment that allows for self-directed learning, promotes it, and supports it.